The retail sector is facing a continuous downfall as even established brands are struggling to survive in the current economic environment. From Starbucks to Disney, apparel retailers to department stores, everyone seems to be struggling with declining sales, inflation, and massive debt burdens. The industry is witnessing a wave of mass shutdowns due to increased financial volatility and a higher potential for disaster. This video highlights 20 retail companies that are fighting for survival in 2023, with only the strongest being able to survive. Before moving forward, the audience is requested to support the channel with a thumbs up and subscribe to it. The first company on the list is Kohl's, a former department store. Kohl's faced trouble for years and had to restructure its operations to retail fitness, athleisure, and denim clothing. However, the past 7 months have seen a drop in the company's retail sales due to thin margins and a nationwide decline in discretionary spending. As a result, Moody's Analytics has put Kohl's on its bankruptcy watch list for 2023. The second company is David's Bridal, also known as the Walmart of weddings. The bridal retail chain has filed for bankruptcy and announced plans to lay off around 9,200 workers, which is 82% of its staff. The company was in distress for several months before seeking Chapter 11 protection. If a buyer is not found soon, all stores may close by the end of the year, according to CEO James Markham. The retail industry continues to suffer as several established names struggle to stay afloat in the toughest economic climate since the 1970s. Even companies that have been around for centuries, such as Starbucks and Disney, are on the brink of collapse, with many already shutting down due to declining sales, inflation, and high debt burdens. We have compiled a list of 20 retail companies that are fighting for their survival, including Kohl's, David's Bridal, Gymboree, 99-cents only stores, Tom's Shoes, and True Religion. Gymboree, a children's apparel retailer, has been experiencing severe cash flow problems, declining foot traffic, and increased competition since 2021. The company filed for bankruptcy and closed for 50 stores, laying off hundreds of employees. It also faces a multi-million-dollar class action lawsuit from former staff members. For 99-cents only stores, persistent inflation and high operational costs are exacerbating its underlying financial issues, with consumer demand steadily falling due to rising prices. The company's ratings indicate more trouble ahead as it struggles to compete with larger retailers with more market leverage. Tom's Shoes, known for its socially conscious footwear, has seen a decline in revenue and sales over the past few years. To control its debt, it stopped donating shoes and began donating a share of its profits to charity. However, its debt rating was downgraded last summer, and retail analysts predict that the company may not survive past this summer. Lastly, True Religion, a fashion retailer based in Los Angeles, has been hit hard by the trend of athleisure clothing, resulting in slumping sales of its premium-priced jeans. The company filed for bankruptcy twice, in 2017 and 2020, and has closed 64 stores. Another bankruptcy looms as demand for apparel continues to fall. Tops, the supermarket company that has roughly 180 Tops Friendly Markets location in New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, and Pennsylvania, is at serious risk of disappearing from the U.S. economic landscape. According to the Wall Street Journal, the already bankrupt regional grocery chain has a substantial debt load, and it is paying $375 million in dividends, consequently making its business unprofitable and unsustainable. Analysts have written that so far, no potential buyers have signaled interest to acquire the indebted company. Experts in the retail industry suggest that Tops, the grocery store chain, is in danger of failing. Jo-Ann, a crafting retailer, has been struggling financially for the past few years, despite a surge in sales during lockdowns when people took up new hobbies like sewing and knitting. However, since the economy reopened, the company has struggled to maintain its sales figures, with a 6.8% drop in net sales in the last quarter of 2022 compared to the same period the previous year, a decline in profit, and an increase in debt to $21.5 million. Jo-Ann recently announced the closure of several stores and layoffs of hundreds of workers as part of its cost-cutting measures. Morphe Cosmetics, a cosmetic and beauty manufacturer, known for its partnerships with beauty YouTubers such as James Charles and Jeffree Star, is shutting down all of its stores in the United States. The announcement follows several lawsuits, including one for unpaid rent at Arden Fair Mall in 2022. Morphe's parent company, Forma Brands, has also filed for bankruptcy. The once popular department store Sears has been closing stores continuously since filing for bankruptcy in 2018. Despite selling off parts of the company to generate income and diversify revenue streams, Sears has been unable to make profits. Retail expert Peter Verardi notes that the company has not turned a full-year profit since 2011. This year, 2023, may be the year that Sears finally goes out of business. Belk, a department store chain based in North Carolina, returned to Moody's bankruptcy watch list in January 2023. As experts predict that department stores and apparel brands will be at higher risk of decline due to shifts in consumer demand and increased cash-in spending. The inflation on disposable income spending has made many discretionary companies in the apparel and department store space vulnerable to declining sales. This situation increases the risk for retailers like Belk. Christopher & Banks, a women's apparel retailer established in 1956, filed for bankruptcy in 2021 due to the financial strain caused by the pandemic. The company conducted going out of business sales of 40 to 60% at hundreds of locations and is now closing over 400 stores across America. Starbucks, the world's largest coffee chain, has not been immune to the current retail crisis. The company has decided to reduce costs by closing 500 locations, and more closures may be on the horizon due to shortages of key ingredients, packaging, and personnel. Disney's brick-and-mortar retail stores, which sell merchandise inspired by its films, have experienced the lowest sales in a decade. As a result, the company is shuttering an additional 53 locations this year, on top of the 60 closures in 2022. Disney is also cutting 7,000 jobs and focusing on its online presence to keep selling its products. Art Van Furniture, a Midwest furniture retailer that operates under various brands, has gone bankrupt and liquidated all its assets. Most of its stores will be closed, and only about 300 locations that were sold to another parent company will reopen as Love's Furniture. Clark's, a UK-based shoe retailer that operates in the US and Europe, has recently gone through a buyout and will shutter 25 of its stores in America. The restructuring has led to the loss of almost 2,000 jobs, with more potential cuts in the future. Estée Lauder, a beauty retailer that operates multiple brands, including Bobbi Brown and Clinique, is closing 15 retail stores and several department store counters permanently. The move is aimed at reducing market exposure after sales declined by 32% in the last quarter of 2022. Over 2,000 jobs will be lost, and the company has warned of further sales and revenue declines in 2023. Furniture Factory Outlet, a home goods retailer located mainly in the central United States, filed for Chapter 11 during the pandemic when it was acquired by American Freight. However, the company's financial situation has not improved due to slower discretionary spending and mounting debt. Furniture Factory Outlet has been forced to close over 40 stores and rebrand more than 30 locations in an effort to boost sales and survive. Guess, a retail jeans specialist, has struggled to find a path to long-term success in the United States over the past decade. The company reported net loss of $2.9 million in the last quarter due to supply chain issues, rising transportation costs, and weak demand even during the holiday season. Currently, Guess is closing 100 locations across the country, and recent controversies surrounding copyright issues may further harm its sales outlook as prominent artists like Banksy criticize the brand on social media and generate public outrage. H&M, one of the largest clothing retailers globally, is facing significant challenges. In January 2023, the company revealed that it was still suffering losses due to the pandemic. Shortly thereafter, H&M announced that it would permanently close 320 locations this year, a higher number than originally planned in November 2022. CNBC reports that over 1,500 positions will be affected as profits decline more than anticipated and costs start to bite. Brick-and-mortar retail is facing numerous obstacles that are only increasing. The greatest challenge in another economic downturn is to demonstrate their relevance in a time of increasing e-commerce retailers and attract customers back to stores in the face of slower spending due to the high cost of living. Unless these retailers can boost their revenues, balance their debts, and differentiate themselves from other emerging brands, they will disappear permanently.